So what does it look like when AI moves beyond chat, simple automations, or even workflows? For me, it's not just about replacing tasks. It's about building ecosystems that self-improve, learn, and work together. In this video, I'm going to show you why we built 7 applications, have 8 specialized agents that support 5 of our businesses. And the overall objective? Automate the things that we don't want to do so we can do the things that we do want to do. So where are we in the world right now? Most people are still using AI through chat. That's completely fine. It's exactly where we started too. However, have you actually considered building something like an app, a simple workflow, or even better, a personalized 24/7, 365 agent? We are now in a world where we can do this purely by speaking plain English. And the barrier of having an idea and making it a reality is now shorter than ever. The one key thing that changed it for us was actually building with AI, even though we were uncomfortable, and seeing what would come out on the other side. My wife and I, we both worked in tech, but more on the business side. Never developed, never managed servers. What we did understand is how teams work together. We worked in 9-to-5s for more than a decade. She was in data analytics, I was in IT security. In August 2025, we left our jobs, and I joined a paid AI online community to help me with my growth. Being around developers, engineers, and just people that were enthusiastic about AI accelerated my growth and my learnings tenfold. I initially felt way out of my comfort zone because I never considered myself a technical person. How that has all changed. We then started to build our businesses alongside our personal creative projects, and we had to understand what we needed to manage these going forward. What that included? Building out our own communities, building out our own apps, building things that would support the mission, and most importantly, a centralized way of overseeing everything into an app we now call Watchtower. What then was obvious was we needed a way to cohesively build out an ecosystem that would work for us in the future as we scaled along. Funnily enough, the structure that we have now built represents a corporate structure. We have marketing teams, content teams, a security and intelligence layer, and a bespoke version of our own sort of Slack or Teams, depending on what you're familiar with, of a way that our agents can now communicate and run daily stand-ups with each other, which then in turn creates action items that requires human approval. The agents themselves have their own responsibilities. We also made sure they had their own personalities too. Overall, we bring a high vibrational energy to the overarching team. Knowledge is then compounded through something called a wiki. Think of things like Confluence, a shared knowledge base for your agents to be able to manage context in and out of sessions for prolonged periods of time. This is clearly how a small team in this day and age can build systems and companies around them. This is what an agentic workforce looks like. So what are some examples of this working in practice? One of our agents, Hef, is now our developer orchestrator. He is able to clearly receive messages from us as a team and then schedules it in our project and task management app, Cadence. He then ensures that he's scheduling these in non-peak busy times, generally when we're asleep. What's amazing is then we wake up to a report on whether or not the build was successful and requires a human gate to ensure that we approve it before it goes into the live environment. In all honesty, it works most of the time, but times where it doesn't is a great opportunity for us to look and improve our ecosystem. What about when things go wrong? Well, we've actually created an autonomy matrix. Think of it as like a permission request. For example, if you're in a corporate company, if you want a new tool or software, you need to generally go to the IT help desk and request for access depending on your role and risk, which also needs to be approved, similar to how we've set things up within our ecosystem. However, those mistakes that we take in are always lessons that are logged, which eventually helps the agent through repetitive course of action to ensure they're not making the same mistakes again. Another great use case for our wiki. As you can see, everything we are building is scalable and future-proof. So how about another example? Twice a day, we get a daily report and an evening report from our intelligence agent, Sybil. She provides signals in regards to what is relevant to the way that we've set up our business. For example, there might be security vulnerabilities industry-wide that we need to validate within our system. What she's able to do is send a task directly from these reports to our IT fleet ops manager, Athon. Athon will then confirm and do a read-only pass on whether or not we've been exposed as a company. Most of the time, everything's okay. However, in the event that something isn't okay, he would provide a fix, and that again would require a human gate for approval. As you can see, being able to compound and make your agents talk between each other is the way forward. This is now the future of work. Of course, there are always risks when working with AI agents as well. What we continually have to do is ensure that we are running security audits, maintaining a proper DR and BCP plan to ensure if we were to lose something or we were compromised, we'd be able to spin back up within 24 hours. Even though these parts are already working for us, I do not want to pretend we are there yet. Right now, approved work can be done through a visible build process, or intelligence can come in requiring a verdict. That means there's fewer missteps and less need for investigations by humans. But do we have complete freedom yet? No, we don't. We are still building, testing, and compounding on a day-to-day basis. But building from this experience allows us to really understand how quick the space is moving and ensuring that we are not building for right now, we are building for 6 to 12 months in the future. This is where the world is going. It enables you to manage businesses with smaller teams, whilst enabling for you to focus on the things that you want to do, like exploring, spending time with family, and better yet, being able to do this whilst just using your phone. So what could this mean beyond our own setup? Put those two examples together. The gap between idea and reality is now shorter. What this means, someone with a strong idea now doesn't need a wide set of skills, nor a large team. However, that does not remove the need for judgment, taste, and curiosity. I don't think the opportunity is empty companies running machines. I think it's smaller teams carrying out execution, validating, verifying, and continually working together to build out ideas we haven't even thought of yet. So is it worth it? How hard is all of this? In honesty, not very hard at all. The most important question you need to ask yourself, are you willing to put in the effort? I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow, but I'm hoping this video gives you the awareness on whether or not you're ready to start. If you are, start by talking to ChatGPT or Claude, asking them how should I approach building an app or starting a simple automation. Think about all the administrative things you do on a day-to-day basis. Turn one small part into something reusable. Let confidence come from action. Those who have the jobs in the future are the ones that build the skills now. What I have found out is this gets a lot easier when you're amongst people that are also building like you. That experience helped me and my wife shape the villa. We created a practical, energy-first community that encourages and cheers each other on throughout their journey with AI. For example, Sita never had a desk job, but she has now published and distributed her own novel. She wrote the novel herself. However, she used AI to help with all the supporting factors. Or even Ray, who brought AI into his pickleball business, ensuring that agents are then able to help with things like inventory and administrative tasks. Those are two very different outcomes, but the shift is similar. They stopped watching AI happen and started believing that they could build what they wanted to build. That is the possibility I want to leave you with. We do not think the best future is simply AI replacing humans. We see AI amplifying what people can build and ultimately helping expand human consciousness. More people can bring to life ideas responsibly and build what matters to them. Don't forget, we are still the directors. We set the intent, make the gate call, and own what happens next. If this feels like a direction you'd like to explore, come see us in the villa. And if not, we hope this is the wake-up call that you needed to secure your future. There's no limits here. It's insane. And we cannot wait to see what the future holds.